Some breaking news this morning on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3. It has been a violent morning in Aurora. Police are looking for suspects in two separate double shootings. We're live at the newest scene as investigators try to piece together what happened.
Also, it's another busy day for fire crews working to put out 4 wildfires across our state.
We've had a season of devastating wildfires.
An update on the progress and if firefighters will get any help from the weather today.
Also, it's one of Colorado's most beautiful places. Reservations open here in just a couple hours if you want to check off seeing the maroon bells from your Colorado bucket list. And it's still on several of our lists.
Yeah.
We have not been there yet. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo has a first look at the forecast today. Those wind gusts will be a concern once again, Lisa.
Yeah, across parts of southern Colorado, it was really windy here in town yesterday. Today is going to be calmer, at least here, but fire danger will be high again over the southern and southeastern plains. As you're waking up this morning, it's definitely chilly. We're in the 20s and 30s right now. We'll be at about 56 degrees though by lunch, and then some low to upper 60s for highs, with again the winds at about 10 to near 20 miles per hour. Beautiful in Denver right now. We do have clear skies. We'll start to see a little more of an increase in cloud cover this afternoon. Highs are going to be right around 65 here in town, 40s for the mountains. Snow hits the high country tonight. It's going to get pretty sloppy up there, up over the high mountain passes here within the next couple of days. There's a chance of snow here in town too on Wednesday. We'll take a closer look at that coming up.
Dry right now here in town and seeing that very typical slowdown in the very typical spots. This is one of them, southbound I-25, right past Furniture Row, going here to I-70 and then getting into downtown Denver. And you see I-70 getting busier. This is the eastbound side going that way towards the Coliseum in that lowered section where you can see the traffic is getting busier. You can see that on the map here this morning as well. And if you hear of a crash over at Lakeside, at Sheridan and I-70, it's all clear. Nobody's over there anymore. Southbound I-25, the overall drive, about 25 minutes there, about 20 on I-76 and 270 and I-70 out to the east side, busy. Very typical stuff. No problems here on the roadways to really slow you down through Aurora on 225 or on the side streets. Here is that shooting investigation over by the hospital complex, but it shouldn't slow your ride down trying to get to the VA or Children's Hospital or your doctor's appointment this morning.
All right. Well, breaking from overnight, we are following those two separate double shootings out of Aurora, one of them involving 2 minors.
Yeah, we want to start though with the latest one that happened near Xanadu and Potomac. Veronica Costa is on the scene where 2 adults, a man and a woman, were shot. Veronica.
And about 8 or so Aurora PD vehicles still here on scene this morning. The crime lab also here. This is specifically near 13th Place and Xanadu. The investigation itself centered around this apartment complex here. There were officers looking through some of those balconies on the first level when we first got here. About 6 a.m. or so, they moved up to that second level. And if we tilt up just a little bit, you can see officers going through that those third level balconies right now with some of those folks living inside of here. We did a brief search online, the specific complex. It is called Residences at Hoffman, and it's described as brand new senior living. We know that man and that woman were shot. They were both taken to a local hospital. That man in critical condition this morning. Police still looking for a suspect though. They have a specific area taped off here close to that apartment complex. You can see some officers and investigators searching there amongst each other. They're also going to be canvassing this area for any suspect or suspects. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the latest information here as the morning goes on. For now, we're live in Aurora. I'm Veronica Costa, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Meanwhile, the other breaking news out of Aurora this morning, 2 teens were found shot after street racing early this morning. Police confirmed to Denver 7 the victims are both 17 years old. They are expected to survive. Officers were initially called to Alameda and Peoria for reports of street racing and fireworks going off. They found the shooting victims when they arrived, and our photojournalist was on scene overnight when police marked several pieces of evidence, and officers were recovering what appeared to be a gun. There are still tire marks on the street at the intersection, and the shooter is still on the loose. Fire crews across the state are working to put out 4 wildfires from Sunday.
And the fire danger, as Lisa mentioned, is still high today in the southern part of our state. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is lifting all evacuation notices for a 38-acre fire burning near Curtis Road. That fire is considered to be 100% contained. One home burned. Crews were able to put out flames in all other areas. Crews will be back out in northwest Pueblo in about 2 hours to work on the Pause fire. It's 19 acres and 75% contained. Firefighters are still trying to determine the cause.
Also, investigators say an unattended campfire started a wildfire near County Road 89 near Cripple Creek in Teller County. It was contained at 3 acres, and a fire closed US 34 near Wiggins in Morgan County for 2 hours on Sunday. The city of Aurora wants to make sure you're notified if there is ever an emergency in their area. Today, the city council will discuss using FEMA's public alert and warning system called iPause. It works like Amber Alerts, sending notifications directly to people's phones within a certain geographic area instead of requiring people to opt into the system. Boulder County uses the same system.
Interior Secretary Deb Haaland will be in Boulder County today talking about how to fight wildfires. The event is part of the Biden administration's rural infrastructure tour. The president's infrastructure law specifically includes investments in forest management and post-wildfire restoration. Meanwhile, the Boulder County will be updating the community today on the rebuilding process from the Marshall Fire. The county is hosting an online workshop for residents. They will talk about building code requirements and energy efficiency codes. At last check, officials are aiming to have the work rebuilding underway in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Today's virtual meeting starts at 6 p.m. You can register for that on Boulder County's website.
Republican candidates that have raised questions about election security will be on the ballot for Colorado's primary. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is live this morning with who's moving on from the GOP assembly over the weekend. Christian.
Well, Brian, many people who attended the assembly over the weekend made it very clear that they still don't trust the results of the 2020 elections. So they are standing behind some of the candidates who have been the most vocal on this issue. So Secretary of State candidate Tina Peters and U.S. Senate candidate Ron Hanks, they took the lead in their races this weekend. Peters has been indicted over her alleged role in a security breach of Mesa County's voting machines, but she has claimed it was an attempt to uncover evidence of voter fraud in the 2020 elections. Colorado elections officials have repeatedly denied claims like this, including 2 weeks ahead of a rally that featured Peters and other candidates as well.
It's important folks know our process. Our process is transparent. If you visit any one of our websites, we'll walk you through exactly the process and the life of the ballot. We test our equipment in the beginning. We have security protocol throughout. There's state statute that makes sure that every county does the same thing.
And on Friday, a federal judge dismissed an effort by a group of Republicans, including Hanks, who were trying to block unaffiliated voters from the primary elections in June. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Christian. Meanwhile, Democrats held their congressional assembly on Saturday. Most of the candidates for the June 28th primary are incumbents, like Representatives Joe Neguse, Jason Crow, and Diana DeGette. The notable exceptions, though, were State Senator Brittany Peterson getting party support to be the nominee in the 7th Congressional District, which was held by Representative Ed Perlmutter for the last 16 years. He announced, though, in January he was not running for re-election. State Representative Yadira Caraveo will be the candidate in the newly formed 8th Congressional District.
Turning to Ukraine this morning, Russian forces are moving an 8-mile convoy closer to the eastern region where Ukraine's president expects a renewed assault. Ika Jachi reports from Washington.
This morning, evidence of a renewed Russian effort to control the east. New satellite images showing a massive military convoy of tanks, mobile artillery, and other vehicles 8 miles long. It's going to Kharkiv, a city that's already faced weeks of Russian shelling, leaving residential neighborhoods completely leveled. Military analysts say Russia is preparing for a major offensive in the coming days, driving from territory they've already controlled in the east westward. In his daily address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says, "We are preparing for their actions. We will respond." In his address, Zelensky continues to urge world leaders to keep the supply of military aid and funds flowing. Speaking to CBS, Zelensky said he was grateful for President Joe Biden and the military aid, but he's not confident that his country will get everything it needs, saying he provided a list of needs to President Biden a long time ago, saying the outcome of the war depends on him. Meanwhile, a show of solidarity over the weekend, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson visiting Zelensky in Kyiv. And this morning, Russian President Vladimir Putin appointing a new commander in Ukraine, General Alexander Dvorkakov, who previously led Russian forces in Syria, a conflict where human rights investigators say civilians were targeted and cities were destroyed.
This general will just be another author of crimes and brutality against Ukrainian civilians.
According to the United Nations, more than 4.5 million refugees have fled Ukraine since the war began. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
If you want to visit one of Colorado's most beautiful places, reservations open today. The Maroon Bells Scenic Area near Aspen is scheduled to open May 15th. Parking reservations will be $10. If you don't get a parking reservation, the shuttles start May 27th, and experts also recommend a reservation for the shuttles. You can learn more on the website aspenchamber.org. The reservations open at 10 this morning.
Every Monday is Money Saving Monday, and this week we have a way for you to visit Rocky Mountain National Park for free. This Saturday is the first day of National Parks Week. To celebrate, free admission is being offered for all national parks in our state. So there are 4 in total: Rocky Mountain, also the Great Sand Dunes, Mesa Verde, and Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
It is a big week for the Denver Broncos. They can begin training together, marking the official start of the Russell Wilson era.
Plus, tax day is a week from today. The 2 letters from the IRS you need to look out for before you start the process.